Let's go live now to Scott Fredericksen, a former federal prosecutor. Scott, thank you so much for joining us here. A lot of turmoil at the DOJ in the second Trump administration. What is your take?
Well, I think it's no surprise when we saw the reassurances in the last day or two from the president. That's usually the kiss of death for Washington politics. I think the real takeaway here is I think we're likely to see Todd Blanche lead this Department of Justice for the foreseeable future. One, he is an experienced prosecutor, and this Department of Justice has lost most of its experienced career prosecutors. He has the trust of President Trump. He was his personal defense attorney, white collar defense attorney, when he was being prosecuted after he'd been indicted. And the second thing is it's going to be hard now going to Capitol Hill before the Senate to get the votes to confirm a new candidate for Attorney General, because the assurances that were given when Pam Bondi was up on the Hill was that the Department of Justice would remain independent and it would not be subject to the wishes of the president. And the opposite has happened. This is a first time basically in the history of the Department of Justice that the president has essentially taken over the department and issued his demands for people to be prosecuted in investigations. That doesn't happen in all of our history. So I think it will be tough on the Hill for a new candidate to get approved, an appointee. Todd Blanche, on the other hand, is, I think, a likely choice to lead this department.
But I guess the question I have, if the president personalized that role, as I think what you were saying there, how is Todd Blanche any different?
That's an excellent question, and I don't think anybody has the answer. I would point to the history that Todd Blanche has with the president. He has the president's trust. And really, I think Todd Blanche has maybe been the sure hand through some of these difficult times. You know, it was the Jeffrey Epstein kind of bungled situation by Pam Bondi that's led to her demise. Todd Blanche was really the more experienced prosecutor, and I think the person, the attorney that the department and the president's staff went to when there were problems. So Todd Blanche's experience, if he goes up in the Hill, he's not going to attack senators. He's not going to attack the House Oversight Committee. Don't forget, just a couple of weeks ago, 5 Republicans decided to join Democrats and insist that Pam Bondi go under oath for a deposition. Very, very highly unusual. So she lost support on the Hill as well.
So if he goes on the Hill, and if indeed he is the one chosen to go through those confirmation hearings, I think the big question is going to be what happens with the Epstein case. From your perspective, how does that need to be navigated, not only legally, but also from our lawmakers in Congress, many of whom seem to agree? Time to release all of the files. It's signed into law by the president himself. What's the future there?
Yeah, that's really is the key, and I think you're focused on the right issue there. Any nominee, whether it's Todd Blanche or otherwise, has got to come to Congress and say, we're going to have full disclosure. Everything is going out the door, and everything is going to go to the Hill and to the public for review. No more slowly rolling out things and, oh yeah, these documents were mistakenly withheld when they're highly relevant. They should never have been withheld or been redacted. No more of that. The only hope of any nominee here is to go before the Senate and say, you know, this is a fresh start. Everything gets pushed out the door. Zero qualifications on that. And I think that's the only chance the person gets of getting approved.
Does it hurt Mr. Blanche that he was, as Nancy Cordes reported, the person who went down to Florida, interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell, and then what happened with Maxwell after relative to, I guess you could say, a reassignment of her living conditions? Does that hurt him?
Oh, that's a huge question, because that is totally unusual behavior, conduct by a Department of Justice. Keep in mind, she had her prison conditions upgraded to a white collar level of minimal security without any agreement of cooperation, without any indication she was cooperating and become a witness against others. That does not happen. And so the question is, what was the deal there? We still don't know. And it's highly suspicious. And on top of that, there's no way a deputy attorney general should have been the one doing the questioning. That's where you send in your professional, experienced line prosecutors who then report to the Department of Justice and the deputy attorney general. So, yeah, that's a big area of questioning that Todd Blanche will face.
Scott Fredericksen, expert legal analysis. Good to see you. I hope to have more conversations with you here on CBS News 24/7. Thank you so much.